Well, looky here, folks. I am in utter shock. This is the 3F UL Gear Lanshan 2 Pro. I haven't even opened it up out of the package. Why I'm shocked is I ordered this on June 9th. I received it on June 16th. What is that? 8 days? It's ridiculous. I know that friends of mine had ordered this. One person actually never received it, excuse me, and received his money back. Another one waited so long, she actually got the tent for free. And another, someone I know also ordered this tent, and I think roughly it took 2, 3, maybe more months before he got it. So that's why I'm shocked. I got this in 8 days, and I want to tell you why I think the reason is. There is in AliExpress a company called JY Outdoor Equipment. Now, I've used them in the past, and so I went ahead and I ordered this tent with the assumption that, heck, I probably won't get this until September, end of August, maybe even later. But that was okay. It didn't matter to me. But when I ordered it, there was an area there where you could contact the seller. So I put an email in there saying, I've ordered things from you in the past. They've been held up in U.S. Customs in there. And I said, I really would like to see if you can get this to me quicker without all the problems that I've been having in the past. Well, that message went to that JY Outdoors Equipment. I, within 24 hours, got a message back from them to say, yeah, no problem, basically. We will send it DHL. And to me, that I didn't know what that meant. Well, I know the company DHL, but I didn't know if that's going to make much of a difference. So I followed the tracking. I saw that it was shipped. I saw that it left the country of origin. It arrived in the country, destination, and it showed up on my doorstep yesterday morning. So kudos to JY Outdoors Equipment at AliExpress for following through with that. So I will, like I said, put their link below. And I don't know, and I'm not saying that if you do that, it's going to get there any quicker. I'm just saying it did happen for me. And I liked the communication, and I felt that it was a very quick response from them to answer my question. So there you go. I am going to open this up. I am going to weigh it out like everybody does, and we'll see what the weights are in this and see what's in the package. So let's do that. It came in this package, and then it came all wrapped, rubber band around it, and that's basically it. 3F UL Gear. So let's do this. All right, let me put that aside and let's check this out. So I ordered what they call the gray and or white. I guess I was told that this may be a little bit of a darker color than the original Lanshan. So let me make sure the color's correct. And from what I can see, yes, it is a gray. It is a darker color. So that is true. It is a gray. It is not white. That's fine. And sure enough, oh, here's a little, I guess that's for, you can do some seam sealing, which, by the way, should arrive here today. There is a tube of seam seal that I'm going to get. Here's a patch, some material for a patch. And these are, of course, the small mini groundhogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and weigh this out. So, I don't know if you can see that, but it weighs, and that's with that on it. It also has the stakes in there and that little seam sealer thing and that patch. So it comes at 2 pounds, 5.4 ounces. We'll get this set up. I'm going to do a comparison between the two tents and explain to you why I'm using or going to use this tent. So thanks a lot, and let's go ahead and
Hey everybody, look at this. Got a couple tents set up behind me. Why? Wanted to do a review on it, and I'll let you know what it's all about. First of all, on this side of me, we have the older Lanshan 2 two-person double wall tent. Back in 2017, never heard of this company called AliExpress. Saw this tent on it that kind of looked like a duplex. That was only $79, $80. So I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. I ordered it thinking, well, you know, maybe it'll take forever to get here or whatever. But it did arrive on time, and I've been using it ever since. It's worked real well for me all over out west in the Sierras and the Smokies, you name it. Everywhere I went, I used this tent. Now, there were some issues I had with it. I'll get into that in a bit. But overall, it's a really good tent. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. This here, over on this side, is the new Lanshan 2 Pro. And I'm a little late coming to the party on this one, but I wanted to do a review on this particular tent, and I'll get into the differences between the two. So without further ado, oh, by the way, if you're into this backpacking and camping and hiking and gear reviews, please consider subscribing to my channel, because I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. So let's see what the difference is between these two tents.
So let's point out some of the differences between the two tents. First of all, back when I started using and bought the Lanshan 2 regular, it was offered in, I think, a white and a yellow. And this white is actually, they called it gray at the time, but when you received it, it was a white type more material. The material then on the outer layer is a 15D sil nylon, and the floor is a 20D sil nylon. I'll put all the specs and the size, the length, and widths in this video. They did have a ridge line. Now, I had seam sealed this, it's all peeling off and got real nasty looking, but the ridge line was seamed all there, and then it was also seamed down the sides. They had, on the pullouts, they used a kind of a, I don't know, strap, and it had a pull lock here on it, and also on the bungee to make the bathtub floor taunt, you'd have this also on there where you could tighten that up. Let me show you the difference they did on the Lanshan Pro. Lanshan Pro, they went with, you know, another line lock, but they went with a little piece of paracord on that. On the bungee, they made the bungee a lot thinner, and they also put a slip knot in. Now, I changed out those slip knots, and I put line locks on those, so to make it easier to pull them more taut. I don't know, I guess the knot would be okay, but I just like being able to have the convenience of pulling that tighter for the bathtub floor. They got rid of that ridgeline seal, and they made this all one piece of now 20 denier sil nylon. The seams now are just run down along the sides, on both sides and in the back, and I probably will seam seal that. They do recommend to do that, so I probably will. And I'll show you what seam seal I'll use at the end of this video. They have a different configuration for the side tie outs. It's all one that comes out and pulls out. I don't have them staked in right now, but they look pretty good. What I notice is they pull them up, and if you do pull these out, you'll be able to get that mesh screening where the condensation rolls down better. To help with the condensation, I recommend using some, like on the Z-Packs duplex. You can use a little clothesline, zip it up a little ways to keep
partial vestibule there, but just roll it up and put a clothespin on it. That might help with the condensation and keep airflow through there a little bit better. Pretty much the same. Like I said, do not untie them when you receive this in the mail. You're better off just to keep the factory knots in there and work with those. The Lanshan 2 Pro now has their logo, 3F logo, now on the vestibule. It's no longer on the side of the tent. And this tent is actually gray. So it's a different color from that, but you probably can't tell in the video, but it is gray. They also have this area here that pulls up, and there's mesh underneath it for more airflow to come out. I'd like to do something to pull that out further, but we'll see what I can do to work that out. All right, guys, this is the Lanshan 2 regular, and I've got two 20-inch pads in here side by side. As you can see, there is no room pretty much on either side and very little room from the head. My problem is laying here, I have this mesh hitting my face all the time. And there's a little bit of room, not any room to store anything in here, maybe down towards the end, but this is what you're looking at in Lanshan 2 regular as far as putting two 20-inch sleeping pads in here. So let's go over to the Pro and see what the difference is. All right, guys, so this is the Lanshan 2 Pro. This is me laying in this. As you can see, I got plenty of room as far as the headroom goes here and feet. I would say I have another 4 inches here, another 2 inches down there. You can see there is, with them right next to each other, I've got a little bit of room on this side, and I've got that much room on this side. So it's not a lot, but it is at least 5 or 6 inches. And down here on the ends, I have all this room here, and I got that much more room, headroom here. And again, you can see where the condensation in here, if it does form, it comes down like the duplex, and it drips out. That's the theory behind all that, is so it doesn't drip onto you. But that's soon to be seen when we take. As you can see right here, I'm laying, and I have plenty of headroom back here, and I got plenty of headroom above my face here. So definitely bigger. And down there, my feet are all the way to the Also, end. I have found that bugs get in between the tent and the mesh. And boy, my glasses are fogging up in here. Let's go down. So what I didn't like, and let me get into that more in here a second. Bugs do get up in between the mesh and the tent itself. And that drives me crazy to hear flies up in there just all night long. So that's one of the issues I had. Second issue is, like I said, my height. I seem to have my head always hit the mesh. Had to pull it out. And at 6'2", that is about the limit. Oh, and stick around, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a third shelter addition. So basically, that was just demonstrating if two people were in a tent. Both of these tents have plenty of room for one person and your gear. That was just a demonstration showing, two 20-inch Thermarest pads side by side, and it gives you an idea of how much room you would have in there. If you were only by yourself, you'd have that whole extra area. So the Lanshan 2 Pro, it is somewhat larger. It does accommodate people that are over 6'3". I'd say you're probably somebody that's 6'5" would be okay in there, maybe 6'6", I don't know, but I'm pushing 6'3". I'm like 6'2.5", and I have plenty of room in there. By myself, I'd have tons of room, and a lot of room for my my gear and all my storage. So similarities with these tents: the vestibules are pretty much the same size, and You know, I'm not knocking, like I said, the Lanshan 2. It's still probably one of the best double wall trekking pole tents on the market for the price, and you can't beat it. So what are my final thoughts on the Lanshan 2 Pro? Well, I like it a lot. Number one, I like the ease of setting it up. I think it sets up easier than the Lanshan 2 regular one. Maybe it's because I'm so used to setting it up, but I really believe that it sets up easier. I do love being a tall guy. I do love the extra room, the height of the headroom rather, where the screen isn't touching my head. I do love that a lot. I think the 20 denier exterior does add a little bit more durability to the tent. I will seam seal it. Like I said, I'll show you the seam seal that I'll be using. On this, I'm going to wait till a nice cloudy day to do that. Also, with the Pro, I like the fact that that bug net's not in there anymore. It's made the tent lighter, and it also, as I was explaining earlier, I think I was explaining earlier, that with that tent being separated from the outer wall, it never fails. I would always get flies in there or something in there buzzing and just flapping its wing and buzzing and just driving me crazy. It gets between, so I'm always constantly taking and smashing that net up against there to get them out of there, and it annoys me. Little things like that annoy me. So that with a single wall tent, I won't have that anymore. They may get in the vestibule area, but they won't get actually in between the two portions of the tent. Keeping the Lanshan 2 regular. I don't know how this is going to work out with the condensation. It's still a great tent, and again, like I said, it's probably the best deal out there for a trekking pole 2-man tent. And so it's light, and it has not failed me yet. So we'll see what happens here with the Pro. It's got to go through a lot more than just setting it up in my yard here to test it out, but so far so good, and I do recommend it at this point. Again, if you're interested in either one of these, go to the link below on AliExpress, and you'll see that JY Outdoor Equipment. It'll take you to those. I think he's got some summer sales on this right now, but anything else with 3F UL gear equipment too is all in that store. And you can actually send him a message or an email that he will respond, or he or she will respond to you, and let him know you're concerned about not getting this fast enough. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it did for me, and I got my tent in 8 days. And the horror stories that were coming out from some of the other people, it took forever to get it. So kudos to them, and I would recommend them also. So if you're going to order something, check them out below. And anyway, so that is it, and let me show you now my 3rd edition. Here it is. So what's so new about this, right? You've seen this Bora Gear Tarp 7x9 Sil Poly tarp before. So what's the addition to this tarp? Well, here it is, right? And it's a bug bivvy from AliExpress, $20. Now this took a little while to get to me. It weighs 8.8 ounces. My tarp weighs 9 ounces. So you're looking at a little over a pound for a shelter system. That's awful tight, but my 20-inch sleep pad fits in there, and I notice it has maybe another 4 inches. Maybe a 25 would fit in there. I think a 25 would fit in here. So anyway, let me get in. It is like a coffin in here. Would I use this? Absolutely not. If I was a kid, yes. If I was about 5'5", 5'10", it's too high. So, no, this is not gonna work. I feel like I'm in a coffin. Wow, see? Not every piece of equipment works out. That was absolutely horrible.
God, I felt like I was in a coffin. It was just so confined in it. I mean, the shoulders, I'm kind of a broad guy. I'm over 6'3", 6'2", so that did not work for me. So that one's definitely going. I am not going to recommend that to anybody unless you're like a kid, under 5'5", 5'6". You know, small person, small frame, definitely probably work good. The screen works good. The mesh is beautiful in it. The zippers work good. It's a good piece of equipment, and probably a 25-inch sleeping pad would work in there, but definitely a 20-inch sleeping pad works in there. It's just not for me. I don't think I'm a bivy guy. Wow. So again, you know, that is my 3 things for a shelter. 2 of them are good, 1 of them is going out. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's a wrap for these shelters. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, share, like, do all those good things. And thank you for following Walker's World. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.